¿Este es su auto aquí?
Sí, ese es mi auto.
¿Y cómo podrían conseguir un auto?
¿Cómo podríamos conseguir? Pues la verdad, con mucho esfuerzo hemos reunido para poder comprarnos el auto.
¿Y con papeles?
No, porque nosotros acá, el emigrante, pues
somos
como que un poco complicados con los papeles y esas cosas.
Pero pueden manejar sin papeles,
Sí.
sin licencia.
Sí, pues siempre y cuando con precaución, porque es que si no se maneja bien, pues tenemos problemas con la autoridad.
No license, no problem. They're able to get. They got a nice car too. They got a nice little Toyota.
Thank you all so much for being here this morning. I'm here to talk a little bit about the devastating impact of the failure of Republican leadership in Congress this week to pass comprehensive immigration change and the impact that will have on both city budgets and on services that we can provide for newcomers in the city. The second is we will start to have to greenlight a set of hard decisions about budget reductions across the city to meet those costs that we know will continue to arrive. We want to talk about two of those today. While they're the first steps, they unfortunately will not be the last and may not be the hardest. This is a plan for shared sacrifice. And so in terms of our first step on city cuts, we are announcing today we will make some changes both to our services at DMV and to our services on Parks and Rec.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about another sanctuary city, this time Denver, Colorado, who is one of the latest sanctuary cities to get exactly what they wanted, which is illegal immigrants. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott has gotten smart, and he's basically spreading the wealth of illegal immigrants to these liberal cities across the country. Okay, he's not discriminating at all. Now, this is something that you would think that progressives and Democrats would agree with until they actually get what they ask for, right? That's the best way to red pill a liberal or a Democrat is to give them what they ask for. And that's kind of what has been happening in some of these cities, like, for example, Chicago and New York, where you have the residents protesting and pushing back against the sanctuary city policies of their city. Now, when it comes to a city like Denver, on the other hand, they're at the beginning, okay? They're just starting to get their share of illegals, and now you're already seeing the results of that, which are budget cuts, crime, and chaos.
Are you concerned about this migrant issue? I mean, we're looking at over 8 to 10 million, and here in Denver alone, tens of thousands of migrants with basically no place to go.
And it's just the beginning, right? So those people have to find a place to live. There's all kinds of services that are going to be needed that the resources aren't there at this point to do that with. And we're not doing anything about structurally fixing that border. And so whoever comes in just comes in.
That's what's happening to a lot of these migrants, man. They're just shipping them over here, and then the cities aren't prepared to house these people. And the unfortunate part is some of these people are dying in these colder states.
Do you think Denver has the capacity? I think the mayor was saying it's over $180 million to handle this crisis right now.
We don't have the dollars for that. We don't have the dollars for that. I don't know where we're going to find it.
We've come up with encampments. We've been trying to figure out where already to put homeless people or people that just can't afford to live here. And now we have this whole nother surge of more people where, yeah, we're definitely running out of resources.
Take care of the American people. Take care of the American people. Let's focus on what the American people need and not so much what everybody else in the world needs.
All that is required is a clear act of courage from the Congress to take action on the things that cities need to be successful. It means federal resources to make sure we can help support that integration and welcome and support.
Okay, and as a result of the budget cuts, crime, and chaos, instead of taking responsibility for being a sanctuary city, or maybe blaming the Biden administration for their soft on border policies, no. The liberal mayor of Denver, Mike Johnston, is blaming Republicans. He is placing the blame on Republicans as the reason why this is happening. And I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Virtual Shield. It has been revealed that thousands of websites share your personal information with social media giants. Most of us know that our every move is being tracked online when we search the web. It is no longer a surprise when we get an ad for a product that we search for online. But what is the extent of this invasion of privacy? A recent report reveals an average of 2,230 companies will send your data to the most popular social media website. This is why myself and tens of thousands of others are starting to protect ourselves and our personal data from this mass invasion of privacy with Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is the industry-leading VPN offering military-grade protection, a strict no-log policy, and built-in ID monitoring that comes with a massive $1 million identity theft insurance policy. Turning Virtual Shield on only takes 2 clicks, and it instantly helps protect your data from the prying eyes of corporations, ISPs, hackers, mobile carriers, tech giants, and more. You can experience the incredible protection of Virtual Shield with an exclusive 60-day risk-free trial. During this 60-day free trial, you'll be able to enjoy unlimited bandwidth, anonymous browsing, and fast internet speeds across all devices. Don't put your privacy at risk by not using Virtual Shield. Get it now by signing up for free at virtualshield.com/BCP. That is virtualshield.com/BCP. Try it now. You have nothing to lose.
Well, Denver's Mayor Mike Johnston says the city will cut services at the DMV and rec centers to pay for services provided to migrants. He blames Republican leadership in Congress for the failure to pass comprehensive immigration reform, saying Denver now faces a $180 million shortfall. Investigator Brian Moss reported yesterday sources at the city attorney's office say they are trying to save nearly $5 million, which includes not filling vacancies with possible furlough days and layoffs. The cuts announced this morning will impact many more Denver residents. Your reporter in Denver, Jasmine Arenas, joins us now. And Jasmine, the mayor called this a shared sacrifice.
Yes, Michelle, a shared sacrifice because everyone is having to pay the price. Mayor Johnston got emotional during his press conference today, and he addressed neighbors and city workers, saying he's thankful for the work they've been doing and for tending to newcomers. But unfortunately, this is going to continue to cost the city, and it may be even throughout the year. Now, these direct impacts today on the DMV and Parks and Rec do not involve layoffs for current employees, according to Mayor Johnston, but they did mention hourly workers will have fewer hours. Seasonal workers might not be hired this summer, and so this does impact new hires. DMV is now only taking vehicle registrations online, and starting March 4th, they will begin rotating weekly DMV closures. The Tremont location will stay open permanently.
Wow, this sounds like a nightmare. Sounds like a disaster. I'm not sure how the DMV operates in you guys' state, okay? But for the most part, and I'm not trying to rag on the North Carolina DMV, but let's just say, at least in North Carolina, it ain't all that efficient, okay? So I only can imagine what cuts to the DMV would do in regards to services and efficiency. I mean, who knows? I don't know, because when you talk about the government, they're never really efficient with anything. It's not really a money problem as much as it's just a management and, again, an efficiency problem. I mean, we really don't spend our tax money efficiently. But regardless, I'm just saying, the fact that they're making cuts probably means that the services aren't going to be any faster. They're probably not going to be any better. And they're also making cuts to parks and rec as well, too. Okay, so, you know, the parks, rec centers, things that kids and family enjoy around the city, they have to take cuts. You have to suffer because these people are saying, no, we have to fund the illegal immigrants instead, right? It's amazing how that works. And instead of blaming themselves for being a sanctuary city, for wanting this, for asking for this, no. They're going to place the blame on Republicans. It's Republicans' fault that we have to cut funds in our city to help the illegal immigrants that we begged for.
Heading into summer and spring, there will be reduced services for parks and rec beginning February 20th. Rec center hours will be reduced as well, including reducing summer programming by 25%. Now, Mayor Johnston said he's been working with his team to find equitable cuts that will not impact communities most at risk.
We have Parks and Rec employees I talked to this morning, DMV employees this morning who said, you know what, we will find a way. We know you're going to ask us one more time to do more with less, and the spirit of the city is such that we will persevere. I want to thank them. I want to thank every resident in this city who has showed up to cook a meal for someone that's arrived, who has welcomed someone into their home, who has offered them a job, who has said, we will help you find your way. You have done your part. The city will do our part. The federal government did not do their part.
Now, this is certainly not the last of cuts that we will see or can expect this year. Now, this is just the beginning. However, the mayor wants to be clear, and during his press conference, he said that migrants arriving here are not responsible for this crisis. Their determination to leave their country in the midst of economic and political chaos is actually admirable.
Wow.
Live in Denver, Jasmine Arenas covering Colorado First.
Amazing. Sounds to me like Texas Governor Greg Abbott needs to send them 2 or 3 or 4 times more buses than he's already sending. Okay, he needs to turn it up. That's exactly what he needs to do. Okay, he needs to really put his foot on the neck of these so-called sanctuary cities. Okay, because what they really should be doing is blaming the Biden administration, not Republicans, for the issues at the border. Because Biden, as president of the United States, he can take executive action to help secure the border and to deter illegal immigration. He can do that today, but Biden is actively deciding not to, or maybe he's not. I don't know. I mean, with the current state that Biden is in, okay, in regards to his mental capabilities, we don't know if Biden's actually making these decisions, right? Because old school Biden, when it comes to the border, you would think that he would actually do the right thing and be tough on the border.
For a fence. I voted unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it. I voted for 700-mile fence. And let me tell you something, folks. People are driving across that border with tons, hear me, tons of everything from byproducts from methamphetamine to cocaine to heroin. It's all coming up through corrupt Mexico.
Yeah, so I think modern day Biden is compromised. Okay, I think he's compromised by the progressives. Who knows, okay, because, I'm not sure Biden is really making these decisions for himself. But regardless, he needs to be demanding that the executive branch do their job and to secure the border, okay? And if he's going to talk about Congress, he really needs to be blaming Democrats in Congress because the Republicans passed a bill to secure the border in the House, the Secure the Border Act, okay? They passed a bill. So the Senate should take up that bill and they should pass the bill if they want to secure the border. But they don't want to secure the border. This is why they won't take up the bill in the Senate. And as long as Democrats don't take up that bill, then they don't want to secure the border, right? Period. Okay, because the so-called bipartisan bill that they were working on, that damn sure is not going to secure the border. And the one bill that will secure the border, the Republicans did their job. They passed it. So you can't blame Republicans for doing their job when Democrats aren't doing their job. But again, this is what they do. They always pass the blame to somebody else instead of taking responsibility and accountability for it themselves. Again, Denver is a sanctuary city. Okay, so you sign up for it. Joe Biden is your president, and he has soft on border policies. Democrats don't want to pass any bill to secure the border in Congress. So again, how is it the Republicans' fault? How is it Republicans' fault? And then also on top of that, this guy is basically encouraging more illegals to come by telling them that they're brave and admirable for making the trek here to the United States. Nonsense, right? Nonsense. Again, it sounds like the Texas governor needs to multiply the amount of buses that he's sending to Denver. Okay, he needs to turn it up exponentially. Okay, that's what he needs to do. That's what it sounds like to me, because it sounds like this guy wants even more of them, right? Send this guy a message. When you start talking like that, blaming us instead of blaming Democrats, Greg Abbott should put his foot on their necks until they're kicking and screaming and demanding that Biden and Democrats do their jobs to secure the border, okay? And even when they start doing that, he should still continue to send them more illegals and to put pressure on them until the border is actually secured. This is exactly what he should do. In fact, that's actually what he has been doing. And that's why I commend Greg Abbott. I think he belongs in the Republican Hall of Fame because, quite honestly, I mean, if the election does come down to the illegal immigration issue, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, I have to give him a lot of credit for shifting the Overton window on the issue of illegal immigration to the right, okay? Because, it's not often in a country like the United States where we've fallen off of a left-wing cliff where you actually have a shift to the right on some issues. But I'm pretty sure that is what's happening on this issue of illegal immigration. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott should get a lot of credit for that. In fact, I said before, he should, be in the Republican Hall of Fame, okay? If they have a Republican Hall of Fame, he definitely should be in that for what he has done in regards to making liberals realize the consequences of the things that they vote for, particularly when it comes to open borders. Because, again, the only way to red pill a leftist really is to give them what they want, and that is what you're seeing when it comes to this issue of illegal immigration. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.